Welcome to the Long Run with Joel and Chrissy. I'm Joel, flying solo today, and welcome to episode 3 of my quest to qualify for the Boston Marathon. And I'm running the Town of Celebration Marathon on January the 30th, and I'm looking for a qualifying time of 3 hours and 30 minutes or under. I'd really like to be somewhere around 3 hours and 27 minutes. I think I can really secure my place in Boston if I can run it at 3 hours and 27 minutes. So that's my goal, and I've kind of adjusted my, I think I shared that last time in episode 2, but I've adjusted my training goals to kind of reach that. I was shooting for 3 hours and 30 minutes, which would be an exact 8-minute per mile pace. But I've adjusted that to kind of go at 7 minutes and 54 seconds, which will put me in at 3 hours and 27 minutes. So I've adjusted some of my tempo runs and my split runs, my 800 meter splits, and things like that to kind of help boost up a little more, give me a little more stamina to hold that 754 or under a little bit longer for the 26.2 miles. So I've got a certain strategy that I'm trying to run for this particular race. It's called a 10-10-10, which is, mine's a modified 10-10-10. It's the first 10 miles, second 10 miles, and last 10K. That's what the 10-10-10 stands for. And most times what runners will do with a 10-10-10 is the first 10, they'll go out a little slower than their forecasted pace. At mile 10 through mile 20, they'll go a little faster than their marathon pace, and then the last 10K, the last 6.2 miles, they'll give it everything they've got to make it in on their on the time that they want to hit. For me, I'm going a little bit different from that. I'm going to do my first 10 miles a little faster than predicted pace or anticipated pace. My second 10 miles I'm going to do a little slower than marathon pace, just to kind of rest my legs in those middle 10 miles, because at my age I kind of think I need that. And so those last 6.2 miles, the last 10K, I want to run at marathon pace or better. I have a specific strategy for doing that. I've got some songs that I listen to on my Spotify that I'm going to use during those last 6.2 miles, because they really keep me on pace. They keep me on pace or better than pace. And that's really what I'm going to need, is to have something that I can say, okay, I'm not running where I need to be. Instead of looking at my watch every time, I can listen to the song and say, okay, this song I need to be running with the beat. And so if I'm running with the beat, I know I'm running at least marathon pace or better. And so I'm going to try that out in this race, just to kind of see how it does. And I'm going to try it on some of my training races as well, my training runs as well, just to see how it goes, and if I can really pick it up those last few miles. Because that's been my problem in the past, is I've kind of faded towards the end, and I don't want to do that this time. Also, another thing that I'm trying to guard against this time is I rarely... fingers crossed, I rarely get injured during training, and so hopefully I won't get it this time either. But usually during the race, during my goal race, if it's a marathon, usually around mile 14, 15, 16, I usually come up with some kind of injury, some kind of, one year it was a hamstring, one year it was a calf, and it's just kind of hinders me through those middle miles. And if I lose pace there, then I can lose that time pretty quickly. And so I want to try to make sure that during those miles where I normally, pull a muscle or something like that, I want to make sure that I'm running strong through those miles. That's why I'm backing off a little bit during my second 10 miles, is to make sure I'm not stretching my muscles too much, not pulling anything, and making sure that I can go strong through those second 10 miles, because those last 6.2, the last 10K, is I really want to hit it hard to come in and finish out strong. So that's kind of where I'm at. Next month, when I do my update, I'm going to talk about what my goals are. I'm going to have an A goal, a B goal, a C goal, which I do for pretty much every long race that I run. I have an A goal, a B goal, and a C goal, so that I still have something to shoot for if I don't get my ultimate goal. And so I'll be talking about those on the next update when I update you again in December. I'm 7 weeks in on my training. Actually, I'll be finishing up 7 weeks on Sunday. So we've got 11 more to go, 11 more weeks. We're almost halfway there. And seriously, November is flying by. This race is going to be here before we know it. My practice races are going to be here before I know it. And I've got my first practice race. I call it a practice race. I'm running the OUC half marathon on December the 4th. And that'll be really my first time trial race that I'm going to do. I've got a couple of practice time trial 20-mile runs in December, another one in January, and I'm also running the Disney half on January the 8th during Run Disney's marathon weekend. So that one I'm just going to count as kind of a fun run. I hate it when people say that, but this is just a fun run for me. But I am going to treat it more as just a slow training race, because I do have the 20 miles the next day on Sunday that I really want to hit some goals for. So this really will be kind of a fun run for me, and just to get the distance in, the miles in, and just kind of take in the sights and sounds of the Disney races, because I've never done one before, and I'm excited about doing this one. So really excited about those races coming up, and then the 20-mile trials I'm going to do in December and possibly January as well. And just looking at the course for the Town Celebration Marathon, it's pretty flat, and I've really got a good shot at hitting my marks and hitting my goals, and really excited about that. People ask me a lot of times, how do you feel right now? How do you feel right now? You're 7 weeks in. How do you feel? Well, I feel pretty good. I am taking advantage of my rest days, and I only have one rest day each week, and that's usually on Friday. But this week I took my rest day yesterday instead of today, and I did run this morning. So feeling pretty good about where I'm at. I think my my tempo runs and my interval runs are doing pretty good. I'm excited about those. And then my easy runs, my long runs are feeling pretty good. I'm going to kind of talk about some of those specifically in a few minutes, but just want you to know that I'm really feeling pretty good about where I'm at, and just looking forward to continuing the training coming up, and just making sure that that my times are coming in good. So I'm feeling really good about where I'm at. Just wanted you to know that. I want to talk about my weight. For me, my optimal race weight is under 170. I'd really like to be somewhere in the neighborhood of 160 to 165. And right now, I don't weigh every day. I don't weigh every week. It's usually about once a month I do that. I may do it a little bit more as we get into December and January, but I'm holding at 167. The last 2 times that I've weighed, I've been at 167 pounds, which is not terrible. But, you know, those last 2 or 3 pounds could be the difference between me running a 327 or a 330 or a 335 and being able to hold my stamina over that last 10K. So I do need to do some core work on my core. That's probably my weakest area, I guess, right now. You know, old guys, you know, we developed that beer belly, and I don't drink beer, but develop that gut, and sometimes it's hard to get rid of. But I'm working on that, trying to develop some of my core, doing some core exercises, and make sure that I can run strong through those last 6.2 miles. So just taking a look at some specifics of some of my training over the last few weeks. Like I said, I'm coming up on the end of week 7. And 11 more to go, and still got some long runs and some hard runs ahead of me. My training is starting to pick up. My Sunday long run this week is going to be a 16 miles, which 16 miles is normally, even in the off, when I'm not training for a race, 16 miles is normally my go-to run on Sundays, just because I want to make sure that I'm building up that stamina, continuing to build up that stamina, and I want the 16 miles to really be that kind of easy run that I can do, and make sure that if I need to add miles to it, I can do that more easily if I have a base of 16 miles. So I'm getting there, and I'm feeling pretty good about that. I guess one of the things I do want to talk about today is difficulties, because I know runners sometimes always make it seem like it's all peaches and cream, but it's not. There are some hard days out there, and I had a difficult day just about a week ago. I was looking for I was doing a 35-minute tempo run, which I want my tempo runs between 7 minutes and 7 minutes and 15 seconds per mile. And for some reason that day I just couldn't get it there, and I came in at 7:18. I know that you're saying, well, that's only 3 seconds off. However, that day was a struggle for some reason. It was just, I don't know. It was pretty warm outside. I mean, it felt good. There was no wind resistance. There was nothing really out there hindering me. There's just some days you just can't get it going, and I couldn't get it going that day. But I was at 7 minutes and 18 seconds per mile. I wanted to be at 7:15, but it just didn't work out that day. But just to show you how you can come back from that is that last Saturday, I was doing a 7-mile 7-mile pace run, and I want my pace to be somewhere around 7 minutes 54 seconds per mile. And last Saturday I did a 7-mile pace run, and I'm looking for my numbers here, and I came in at 7 minutes and 45 seconds per mile. It was a really good run. The thing that was really good about it was that I was going into about a 15 to 20 mile per hour headwind going out. I did an out and back, and I was going out in about a 15 to 20 mile per hour headwind. And so it kind of slowed me down a little bit, because going into the wind slows you down more than having a tailwind against your back, pushing you along more than that makes you faster. So, but I felt pretty good about that. 54 minutes for 7 miles is a pretty good pace for me. I felt strong afterwards. I felt like I could have gone a little bit longer at that pace. So that's a good thing leading up to the marathon coming up in January. So I've got an 8-mile pace run tomorrow that I'm going to do. I won't update that until my next update in December, but I'm looking pretty strong on that. And like I said, to finish out the 7 weeks plan on Sunday, finishing up 7 weeks, I'm going to do a 16-mile run, and they're just going to get longer from there. So really excited about where things are going, where things are headed. I'm feeling good. I'm 7 weeks in, almost halfway. We're getting almost halfway there, and I'm still feeling pretty good about where I'm at. And thank you guys for coming along on this journey with me, for being a part of this, for pushing me along, for giving me encouragement. I do read all the comments. I try to respond to all of you, and just want to thank you for the encouragement that you've sent along my way. We all need that from time to time, even us who find motivation from within. But thank you for all that you've done, for what you're continuing to do, and just the encouragement you give me along the way. So that said, that's going to end my update for today. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notifications bell for updates when we upload new videos on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and sometimes on the weekend. You just never know when we're going to fit one in there. But I think that's going to do it today for the Long Run with Joel and Chrissy. I'm Joel, flying solo. And don't forget, it's a long run. Give yourself a little grace.